Hi everyone, today I'm going to go over how to remove the passenger side dashboard trim. The tools we will be needing today are at least 2 skinny flatheads, a crosshead screwdriver, a magnetic pickup tool, and various trim tools. I will leave links to these in the description below. Before we get started removing the trim, you will need to remove the passenger side cup holder, middle vent, and radio. I won't be going over them in this video, but I have detailed videos on how to do that, which I will link. Now let's examine the part we will be removing. Once you remove the vent and radio, you can take your screwdriver and remove the screws in each corner holding the trim down. Then looking at the back, there are these 6 large prongs sticking into small holes in the dash. And 5 of those prongs are held into place by these small clamps that hold onto the hole in the prong while putting pressure on the dashboard wall. Here's what that looks like. A closer examination of the clamp, notice that there is a sharp right angle that holds onto the hole's edge. Now there are 3 ways that this will come off. 1. The pressure of the wall when you pull the trim off will separate and lift the clamp due to its wedge shape. 2. While pulling the trim out, the clamp could also compress due to its wedge shape and squeeze through the hole in the dash. And 3. While pulling the trim out, the right angle of the clamp could bend and let go. But if that happens, you can repair it by bending it back with pliers. Now moving on to the cup holder side, there is a squeezable tab that needs to be lifted out of the hole, which is easy to reach. This could be a little sharp, so a thick glove could help you here. And I need to emphasize that this one tab and the 4 screws behind the radio must be removed before you try pulling the trim out. Once you have those removed, I took my skinnier trim tool to create separation with the trim and the dash to make room for my fatter trim tool that helps me pull on the trim. When you have something to pull on the cup holder side, you can just grab the piece here and pull on that also. With these 2 points of leverage, that should be enough for you to start pulling the trim out, which causes those 5 clamps to pop off. And don't worry about pulling too hard, since the backing of the trim is solid metal. If you have trouble pulling the trim off at this point, like I did, you can reach behind the trim and try to remove the 2 clamps before trying to pull again. It's quite a reach, but I found 2 methods that worked for me. 1. Using your skinny tool, lift up and out on the clamp between the prong. And 2, which I found easier, is to use a thicker screwdriver and push it in at the same space. The thickness and the wedge shape will cause separation of the clamp, with you only pushing the screwdriver in compared to the skinnier one, which you needed to push in and also up, which I found harder to do in a tight space. The only issue is with these methods are that you can't see which side of the clamp has the right angle, but taking a picture behind your dash may help you here. When you finally get your trim off, most likely all the clamps are stuck behind your dash, so go ahead and use your magnetic tool to fish them out. At this point, you are all done and can start the reinstallation. The reinstallation is easy and just everything in reverse. But as far as the clamps go, I would put them all on the prongs first and then push the trim back onto the dashboard. The clamps should compress through the holes. This way is easier than reaching behind the dash and trying to put the clamps in impossible to reach places. After that long explanation, you should be equipped to confidently get started. So let's get into it. First, you will need to remove your passenger side cup holder, then center vent and radio. I won't be going over them here, so I will link the instructions on how to do that around the video. After that, unscrew the 4 screws in the corners behind the radio hole. Then stick your hand behind the passenger side cup holder and squeeze and lift the metal tab up and out. At this point, you are ready to start pulling. So use your trim tools to create a way for you to pull on the passenger side, and on the other side, you can pull on that piece of metal in the radio hole. If you struggle pulling both sides at the same time, you can try putting all your energy on the radio side first to see if that pops out, or if that doesn't work, try the other side. If that still doesn't work, then you can try to remove the 2 clamps that are the closest to your reach, so that there's less clamps and resistance when you pull. If you still can't pull it out at this point, go ahead and get someone stronger. And that's all the tips I have for you at this point. Once you remove your trim, you will need your magnetic tool to go find those clamps. And there is a chance that one of them could have fallen into the glove box, so go ahead and check there too. At this point, you're all done. And getting into the reinstallation, I would put the 5 clamps on the back of the trim first, then push or pound it into the dash. When you have that completed, go ahead and do everything in reverse to complete the job. Reinsert the squeezable tab, screw in the 4 screws, put the radio in, put in the vent, then put in the cup holder. I hope this video helps you, and thanks for watching.